Yo, how's it going, Village Talk? Villagers all over the world. I'm excited that you joined on today on today's Village Talk topic. I pray that all is well with you when you are listening in. There's so many things that is distracting us and that's going on in the world that could be burdensome to us, right? From bills to the 9 to 5 to kids to spouse to family to the distractions that can also be a burden. You name it, social media for me, right? And I don't do too much TV, so I don't really have cable or anything at all. But social media, YouTube, right? TikTok. And so much to be distraction and burdened down by that we have to be careful not to be consumed through the influences of the trends, influence through the burdens that we have. We have to be careful that we're not influenced. That means under the pressure of paying bills, under the pressure of strange, stressful relationships. We have to be careful that we are not under the stress, under the influences of the distractions that come subtle. I pray that whenever you're getting this, that you're encouraged, because there is so much that we can tune into that it can be very hard. We can be careful to not tune into the voice of God, as the distractions, that all the stress in the world can really take our minds and our eyes off of God, off of the Most High, off of the prize, off of the Christ Jesus, the chosen one who called us to be as He is, right? To be chosen in this dark world, to be the light. And so it's so easy to be thrown off, but I want to encourage you that God cares about your troubles. All right. So today's Village Talk topic is entitled "God Cares About Your Trouble." God cares about your troubles, plural, because we have many troubles, and if you're like me, you have many troubles. And once you become the light, you understand that darkness automatically becomes an enemy to you. Darkness becomes something to where darkness cannot comprehend light. And so a lot of times what happens is the light is attacked. It's a battle of light and dark that we're going through. It's a battle of light and darkness, evil and righteousness, good and evil, that we are going through. And we have to be careful to not allow the cares of our troubles to take our mind off the peace of God that surpasses all our understanding, right? We have to be mindful to not let our troubles, the cares of our troubles, the burdens of our distractions take us away from focusing on God. And so, because simply God cares about your troubles. And we're going to see that here in Mark chapter 4 and 38, starting at 38 verse. Many of us are familiar when Jesus was in a boat and the storms came and beat on the boat and was beginning to fill the boat, and they came down to the Master, Christ, right? The central focus of their troubles, the central beacon of light that can help them have a redirected path in their storm. They went to find Jesus at the bottom of the boat. And what was so amazing is prior to the storm, Christ had already told them, what leads me to believe that Christ can go before our troubles, our storms, and be on the other side meeting us, because He told His disciples, let's go to the other side. So we see that in chapter 4, when Jesus got done teaching the multitude, and He told His disciples, let's go to the other side. And after that, there was a storm. And the part I want us to kind of pick at and to focus on is really verse 38, because just like many of us, we feel like God does not care that we are perishing. Like many of us, or like myself, it's times where I feel like God is took a vacation, is seeing other people and allowing me to fend for myself when it comes to the troubles, the trials, and the cares that begins to overwhelm me. And just like the disciples, I feel like you and I can be in these same situations where we're literally questioning God, like, God, do you care? And it says here, it says, teacher, it said when he was in the stern, asleep in the pillow, in the stern of the boat, asleep on the pillow, they awoke him and said to him, teacher, do you not care that we are perishing? Do you not care Teacher, do you not care? Father, Abba, do you not care that we are perishing? That is a legitimate question when we are going through a storm, because it's so easy to fall into despair. But I want to encourage you, villagers, that God is not ignorant to the storms in our lives. He's not unaware in the storms in our lives. In fact, he also cared that we perish, because once they asked him that, Jesus arose and began to rebuke this wind. Jesus began to rebuke the wind, and he said to the sea, "Peace, be still." He said to the sea, "Peace, be still," and the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. Right? And then the verse 40, it says, and he said to them, "Why are you so fearful? How is it that you have no faith?" So it's getting down to where our faith is found, right? When our faith is produced into the open, it can show its true colors, as we also see in James 1, right? We see that we're going to have many trials. We're going to have many storms. But rest assured, God cares about your storms. God cares that you perish. God cares about the trials that we're going through. He cares about the winds and the sea that is ravaging in our lives. He cares about the people that turned their back on you, that left you to die. God cares about the jobs that rejected you. God cares about the finances that seemingly to dry up when you have more bills than you can count in your pocket, the money that you can count in your pocket. God cares. But it's up to us to understand that God is showing us a demonstration of how to respond to our storms. And we're going to need faith. And if you don't have it, pray to God. Say, "God, increase my understanding. God, help my unbelief. God, help increase my faith and belief in you, and help my confidence be rooted in you." So when these storms do come, we can not only know that God can give us the power, but also grace authority through the storms to grant us peace, but also can be mindful to the fact that he cares enough to be there with us in the middle of the storm. So I hope that bless you, villagers. I'm excited for what's coming up next. Many of you might not know, but from the last video, I was talking about how, I'm not sure how God is going to begin to turn my situation around. I take a break from posting just while I go through this transition, losing my apartment, being evicted, and not knowing how that's going to work. But I feel like God can give me a new way of reaching. And so I'm excited to see what that looks like. And so I'm going to take a week off. I'm also going to be traveling up to Ohio to help my mom relocate here to drive to Texas. And so I'm going to still be mindful to create content, but I'm going to take a break from posting. I'm going to take a short intermission so that I can get my affairs in order and I can continue to hear what God is doing next. But I want to encourage you, villagers, that God cares about your troubles. He cares about your storms. And in fact, he's there with you while you're going through your storms. You just have to understand the power that is working already in you. So when you do come up against trials and fiery darts of many forms, you can speak to those trials. You can speak to the winds and know that because greater is within you, the winds, the sea will begin to obey the God that's within you through our faith. And that's how we overcome, as it says in 1 John 5:4. This is the victory that we have in him. And this is a victory that we overcome, and it's even by our faith. So villagers, go and be blessed.